feel that for a moment. Do not search for it. Just allow yourself to notice what is already there. A warmth behind the navel. A low, persistent hum beneath the surface of your skin. For some of you, it is a heat that climbs the spine, coiling at the base of the skull. For others, it is a restlessness in the hips, a feeling that you cannot get comfortable, that the very ground beneath you is subtly shifting. You have been waking between the hours of 2 and 4 in the morning, not from a nightmare, but into a silence so profound, it feels loud. You lie there, and you can feel a current running through you, a river of information with no words. You have dismissed it as stress, as poor sleep, as anxiety. You have told yourself it is nothing. I am here to tell you it is everything. That sensation is not random. It is not a symptom of disorder. It is the evidence of your body, your oldest and wisest instrument, registering a cosmic shift so fundamental that it precedes conscious thought. Your blood and your bones know something your mind is only now catching up to. This is not the gentle turning of a page. This is the sound of a great gate groaning open after a century of rust and silence. This is the feeling of a current, long held in stasis, beginning its inexorable turn. Within the next 48 hours, a threshold is crossed. Mercury, the celestial messenger, the weaver of thoughts and contracts, stations direct. It has been dragging its feet through the mud of the past, forcing you to review, to revise, to remember what you had tried so hard to forget. But that is only the final piece of the mechanism. The true miracle, the event that has not happened in this way for a very long time, is that with Mercury's turn, every single planet in our solar system will be moving direct. All of them. There is no backward glance, no retrograde shadow, no cosmic instruction to wait, to reconsider, to hold back. This is the true astrological new year, not the calendar date we mark with noise and resolutions. But this moment, the moment the entire celestial armada turns its ships to face the same direction. Forward. Stay with me, because what is happening in the sky is only a map for what is happening in the deep country of your own soul. The universe is not doing something to you. It is revealing something that has been building within you for months, perhaps for years. It is giving you permission to finally feel the sheer, unyielding pressure of your own becoming. That warmth in your body is the friction of a great river beginning to move against the dam you were taught to build. Let us speak of that river. Every soul carries one. It is the current of your purpose, your truth, your life force. It is meant to flow. It is meant to carve canyons, to nourish valleys, to move with a deep and certain power toward the great ocean of its own fulfillment. For a long time, that river has been obstructed, not just for you, but for the collective. A season of retrogrades, of looking back, has acted as a series of dams, locks, and diversions. We were told it was a time for reflection, and it was. We were told it was a time for healing the past, and it was. But we were not always told the cost of holding that much water back. The pressure has been building. It has manifested as the unnamed anxiety, the fatigue that has no source, the frustration that boils over at the smallest inconvenience. It is the feeling of being profoundly stuck, of pushing with all your might against a door that will not budge. You have been living in the reservoir of your own contained power. You have grown accustomed to the stillness of the water, mistaking it for peace. You have learned to live on the shores of a life that feels contained, predictable, safe. And all the while, the river, your river, has been rising, pressing against the stone and concrete of old beliefs, old contracts, old identities you have outgrown. There is a voice that whispers when you are very quiet, "This is not it." a voice that says, "There is more." You have been hearing it. You have been trying to silence it. Because to acknowledge the voice is to acknowledge the dam. And to acknowledge the dam is to acknowledge the terrifying, liberating truth that it is about to break. This is not a prediction of chaos. This is a promise of release. The ancient Sumerians saw the universe born from the mingling of two great waters, Tiamat, the salt ocean of infinite possibility, and Abzu, the fresh groundwater of will and intention. They understood that creation is not a static act, but a constant, fluid process. When the waters stagnate, life withers. Your life has been in a state of sacred stagnation, necessary but finite. The time of stillness is over. The time of confluence, of movement, of flow has returned. Think of the great archer from the Vedic texts, Arjuna, standing on the battlefield between two massive armies. He sees his cousins, his teachers, his kin on both sides. His purpose, his dharma, is to fight, to release the arrow. But he hesitates. He lowers his bow. The entire cosmic story comes to a halt in that moment of profound storks. His guide, Krishna, does not tell him to ignore his grief or his confusion. He sits with him, in the dead center of the conflict, and expands his vision. He shows him the nature of time, of duty, of the soul itself. This period of retrogrades, this collective pause, has been your chariot in the middle of the battlefield. You have been forced to see who stands on either side of your life, the parts of you that must be released, and the parts of you that are calling you forward. You have been given a divine pause to understand the nature of your own arrow. But the pause cannot last forever. The conch shell must be blown. The battle, which is not a battle against others, but a battle for the reclamation of your own flow, must begin. All the planets moving direct is the sound of that cosmic conch shell. It is the universe saying with one unified voice, "Lower your bow no longer. The time for seeing is done. The time for acting is now." The pressure you feel in your body, that somatic hum, is the strain on the bowstring. It is the tension of an arrow that has been held at full draw for too long. It is the ache in the muscles that says, "Release me. Let us go deeper. Let me show you what this means in the architecture of your life." The dam was not built by you alone. It was built with stones passed down through your lineage. The stone of "be practical." The stone of "do not make a scene." The stone of "this is just how things are." The stone of "who are you to want more?" Each one was a lesson in containment, a strategy for survival in a world that was not ready for the full force of your river. And it served its purpose. It kept you safe. It allowed you to build a life on the shores of that calm reservoir. But the weather has changed. The rain has come. The snow on the high mountains of your own consciousness is melting. The volume of water, the sheer amount of life force wanting to move through you, has become too great for the old structure to hold. The dam is cracking. You have been feeling the tremors. A conversation that suddenly feels electric with unspoken truth. A job that has gone from stable to suffocating. A relationship where the silence has become heavier than the words. A creative impulse that is no longer a gentle whisper, but a demanding roar that keeps you awake at night. These are not signs that your life is falling apart. These are the sounds of the dam breaking. This is not destruction. It is liberation. The ancient Hellenistic astrologers had a concept they called aphesis, which means ascending forth, a release. It was the idea that a planet, held in a certain condition for a time, would eventually be released to deliver its full potential. You are in a personal and cosmic state of aphesis. You are being sent forth. The energy that has been held in review, in potential, in the deep quiet of your inner world, is now being released into the material, manifest world. And it is happening through the channel of Mercury. Mercury is the psychopomp, the guide of souls between worlds, the conscious and the unconscious, the world of ideas and the world of forms. As it stations direct, it is not just moving forward, it is building a bridge between the deep, watery, intuitive knowing you have been cultivating during this quiet time and the practical, actionable, spoken reality of your daily life. The unnamed truth you have been carrying is about to find its words. The secret plan you have been building in your heart is about to find its blueprint. The feeling you had that something must change is about to find its moment. This is why the physical sensations are so intense. The body is the first to know. It is the earth through which the river flows. Feel the tightness in your hips. This is the root of your being, the seat of your stability. The tightness is the resistance to being uprooted, to leaving the familiar shore. The body is holding on, even as the soul is straining to move. The churning in your gut, in your solar plexus, is the vortex of power beginning to spin. This is your center of will, of action. It is warming up, preparing to translate the river's force into decisive movement. The heat in your chest and throat is the water rising, wanting to be expressed, to be spoken, to be sung, to be roared. It is the pressure of your own truth demanding to be heard. It says, I can no longer be contained. You think you need a plan. You think you need to know every step of the journey before the river is allowed to flow. This is the great lie of the contained self. The river does not need a map. The river is the map. Its movement creates the path. Your only job right now is to grant permission for the release. To consciously, willingly, place your hands on the stones of the dam and say, it is time. Let's talk about the specific quality of this moment. This is not a gentle, meandering stream. When a dam breaks, the initial surge is powerful. It is cleansing. It carries with it all the debris that is settled at the bottom of the reservoir. The old fears, the half-hearted commitments, the relationships based on obligation instead of resonance, the work that pays the bills but starves the soul. All of this will be churned up. Do not be alarmed. This is the scouring. The river, in its wisdom, is clearing its own bed so that it can eventually run clear. Your task in the next few days is not to try and control the flood. You cannot. Your task is to become an impeccable observer of what is being washed away. Notice what conversations suddenly become unavoidable. Notice what obligations suddenly feel utterly intolerable. Notice what desires, long submerged, now surface with a breathtaking clarity. This is your soul's intelligence using this cosmic forward momentum to perform a great and necessary purification in your life. The last time a celestial alignment of this nature occurred, with this specific quality of forward propulsion after a long period of universal introspection, entire empires shifted. Old maps were redrawn. What was once considered the center of the world was revealed to be merely a temporary stopping point. You are a cartographer of your own life, and you are being handed a blank map. It is terrifying, and it is the greatest gift you could ever receive. Not because you are lost, because you are finally free to find the true course. Let us speak of the fear. The fear is real. It is the part of you that has been charged with keeping you safe. It stands on the shore and screams, "The flood will destroy everything. The home we built, the fields we planted. We will be left with nothing but mud." This voice must be honored. It must be heard. Turn to it. Do not push it away. Look at it with compassion and say, "I hear you. Thank you for protecting me for so long. But this is not a flood of destruction. This is the return of the river, and we are made of water. We will not drown. We will remember how to swim. The courage required now is not the courage of the warrior charging into battle. It is the subtle, profound courage of the body that finally relaxes into the current. The courage to let go of the shore. The courage to trust that you will be carried, not destroyed. For some of you, this is about a relationship. You know which one. It is the one where you have been holding your breath, where you have been damming up your truth to maintain a false peace. The water is pressing against that dam. The loving thing to do, for yourself and for them, is to allow the truth to flow. It may change the landscape between you. It may even wash away the bridge. But it will allow the river of both your lives to move on, rather than stagnate in a place that no longer nourishes either of you. The surge of honesty is a form of grace. For others, this is about your work in the world, your vocation. You have built a career on the solid ground of practicality. You have done the sensible thing. But the reservoir of your unexpressed creativity, your true calling, has been rising. It is now spilling over the edges. It is making a mess of your neat and tidy plans. You may find yourself suddenly unable to tolerate another meeting, another spreadsheet, another moment of pretending that this is enough. This is not a failure. This is a breakthrough. The river of your purpose is demanding a truer channel. It will carve it, with or without your permission. It is far less painful to cooperate with the erosion. And for many of you, the dam is internal. It is a core belief about who you are and what you are allowed to have, to be, to feel. A belief like, I am not worthy of that kind of love, or it's too late for me to start over, or I have to earn my rest. These are the oldest, heaviest stones in the dam. This forward-moving celestial tide is designed to dislodge them. You will be presented with evidence that contradicts these beliefs, an opportunity, a moment of unexpected grace, a compliment that lands so deeply it cracks the stone. Your job is to let it, to not explain it away, to not deflect it, to receive the evidence that you are more than your containment. This is the moment of direct emotional confrontation. I need you to be very still and very honest with yourself right now. What is the one truth you have been refusing to speak? What is the one decision you have been refusing to make? What is the one conversation you have been endlessly postponing? There it is. The name, the face, the situation just surfaced in your mind. Do not push it back down. Let it float there in the quiet water of your awareness. That is the epicenter. That is the place where the dam is weakest. That is where the first crack will appear. You have been feeling it for weeks, a hairline fracture of knowing, a trickle of truth you could no longer ignore. Now, the trickle is about to become a torrent. You have a choice. You can spend the next few months frantically trying to patch the cracks, shoring up a structure that is doomed to fail, exhausted and terrified by the inevitable. Or you can walk to the center of the dam, under this wide-open sky where every star is urging you forward, and you can give the order for its demolition. You can become the agent of your own liberation. This is not done with force. It is done with intention. It is done with breath. It is done with a quiet, bone-deep surrender to the wisdom of your own river. I am going to walk you through a practice, a ritual of release. It is designed to align your personal will with this immense cosmic current. Do not rush it. The timing is precise. It is a 3-day process beginning now at the exact moment Mercury stations direct, when the celestial gates are fully open. For the first day, Your only task is to bear witness to the dam. You will need a piece of paper and a pen. Find a place where you can be undisturbed for at least 30 minutes. Sit quietly. Close your eyes. Feel that hum in your body, that pressure, that internal rising. Now, ask your deepest self, what have I been holding back? And then, you write. Do not edit. Do not judge. Write down every fear, every excuse, every obligation, every old story that has kept your river contained. Fill the page. Write about the job, the relationship, the unspoken words, the ungrieved loss. The dream you told yourself was foolish. Write down the names of the stones. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, the need to be the good son, the good daughter, the belief that I must do it all alone. Write until there is nothing left. This paper is the dam. You have just made it visible. You have just rendered it conscious. Fold it. Put it somewhere safe. For tonight, you will sleep with the knowledge of what is about to be released. On the second day, you will introduce the water. This is the day of the first crack. You will need a bowl of water, or you can go to a natural source of running water if you are able. Take the folded paper in your hands. Hold it. Feel the weight of it. All that containment, all that stagnation. Unfold it and read it one last time, aloud if you can. Let your own voice speak the truth of your limitations. Then, dip one finger into the water and touch it to a single word on the page. Just one drop. Watch as the water begins to bleed into the fibers of the paper, as the ink begins to blur at the edges. Watch how a single drop of truth begins the process of dissolution. Sit with this for as long as you need. This is a meditation on surrender. You are not smashing the dam with a hammer. You are allowing the water to do its work. You are acknowledging that a power greater than your fear is now active. The structure is weakening. The integrity of your old limitations is compromised. Fold the paper again, now damp, and put it away. The process has begun. On the third day, the gate opens. This is the day of the great release. You will take the paper and a glass of clean, clear water. Go outside if you can, and stand barefoot on the earth. If you cannot, stand at a window where you can see the sky. Take the paper, the list of your confinements, and tear it into the smallest possible pieces. As you tear it, you are not acting with anger. You are acting with reverence. You are unmaking an old world to make way for a new one. Place the shredded pieces into the bowl you used yesterday. Now, slowly, pour the entire glass of fresh water over them. Watch as the pieces are submerged, as the ink dissolves, as what was once a rigid list of rules becomes a murky, formless pulp. It is no longer a structure. It is returned to possibility. Now, you will speak. You will speak the words of permission that your soul has been waiting to hear. Say this, or words that feel truer to your own heart. By the grace of my own being, and in alignment with the cosmic current, I now give my river permission to flow. I release the stories that have kept me small. I release the contracts that have kept me bound. I release the fears that have kept me safe but stagnant. I am no longer available for containment. My path is forward. My nature is to flow. The dam is broken. I am free. Take a deep breath. Now take the bowl and return this pulp, this dissolved past, to the earth. Pour it at the base of a tree, into a garden, or into any patch of soil you can find. You are giving it back. It is not destroyed. It is composted. It will become nourishment for something new. Finally, go back inside, wash the bowl, and fill the glass with fresh water again. Drink it all down. Feel the clean, cool water entering your body, replenishing the space you have just created. You have just hydrated your soul. You have just signaled to every cell in your body that the new era has begun. The river flows through you, not just around you. You are the current. This is not a symbolic act. This is an act of co-creation with the universe. You are using the material world to anchor a profound spiritual shift. The universe is providing the immense tidal force. You are providing the specific personal intention. Together, you are irresistible. Now I need you to understand what comes next. The days and weeks following this release will be potent. Things will begin to move, sometimes with startling speed. The conversation you have been dreading may initiate itself. The opportunity you have been dreaming of may appear, but it will look different than you imagined. A door may slam shut with shocking finality, only for you to realize it was the door to a prison cell. Your only job is to stay in the center of the current. Do not panic and try to swim for the old, familiar shore. That shore is dissolving. Trust the flow. You will be tested. The old habits of thought, the muscle memory of self-containment, will try to reassert themselves. The voice of fear will return, pointing out the rapids ahead, the uncertainty of the destination. When it does, do not fight it. Simply place your hand on your solar plexus. Feel that warmth, that hum, and remember the feeling of drinking that clear water. Remember the promise you made to yourself. Remind yourself that the river knows where it is going. It is flowing toward the sea of your own wholeness. You did not find this message by accident. Something in you, the part of you that is allied with your own becoming, recognized the hum of this truth before I even spoke the first word. It recognized the vibration of this planetary alignment because it is happening inside of you already. You have been preparing for this moment your entire life. Every challenge, every heartbreak, every moment of quiet despair has been carving the riverbed, preparing it for the return of the water. Nothing was wasted. It was all preparation. So let go of the idea that you are behind. Let go of the shame that you did not do this sooner. The river flows at its own pace. The dam breaks at the precise moment of its own structural impossibility. You have not missed anything. You are right on time. In fact, you are the clock. Your readiness is what makes the moment potent. The work of these great celestial bodies is to create the weather. It is your work to put up the sail. Or, in this case, to dismantle the dam. To surrender to the physics of your own soul. As you move through this portal, be tender with your body. It is processing an immense energetic upgrade. You may feel tired. You may feel emotional. You may feel a strange combination of grief and exhilaration. All of this is normal. It is the feeling of a landscape being reshaped. Rest. Hydrate. Walk in nature. Lay your hands on the earth and feel its steady, ancient pulse beneath yours. The earth knows all about flow, about seasons, about release. Let it be your guide. The time for small, incremental changes is passing. This is a quantum leap, a fundamental state change from solid to liquid, from contained to flowing. The person you have been is dissolving into the person you are becoming. And the person you are becoming has been waiting patiently for you, downstream, for a very, very long time. They are not a stranger. They are the most authentic version of yourself. The one who breathes deeper. The one who is not afraid of their own power. The one who knows that their truth is the most valuable currency they possess. You are about to meet them. And so, as we close this sacred space, I invite you to make a declaration, a public anchor of your private intention. In the space below, I want you to write the words, "The river is flowing." That is all. You are not explaining. You are not justifying. You are stating a fact. You are bearing witness to the truth of your own life. And know this, when you write those words, you are not just doing it for yourself. Someone will scroll through these comments, someone whose dam is still holding, but whose heart is full of hairline cracks, and they will see your declaration. Your courage will be a drop of water on the dry paper of their own fear. Your 5 words will be a tremor that weakens their own dam. This is how we help each other through the floodgates. We bear witness to each other's liberation. Hours were spent in study, in meditation, in listening to the whispers of these celestial movements, so that this course could be made clear for you at this exact time. If this transmission has served you, if it has named the unnamed thing inside you, then subscribe and press the bell so that you do not miss the next instruction when the current shifts again. We are in this river together. Now, take a breath. Feel the current. It has already begun. The river is flowing.